On his debut, Jarno Opmeer wins at Spa.
It's Martinez in Montreal. David beats Goliath.
It's a true underdog story. John Evans wins at Mexico.
And it's Super Sam Corby who takes the PlayStation Championship.
FRA Ronhard takes his first WOR Championship. He is your Xbox champion.
And Jake Benham is a two-time WOR champion.
Dobby around the outside operated line. Shut up! His contact again, Ronhard is around.
Bethany, surely is going to win here at Abu Dhabi. He does.
15 races across 5 continents. From Brazil to Belgium and Bahrain to Britain. Soon this story starts. Across 3 platforms, hundreds will begin the quest. The quest in search of glory and the right to be called a WOR champion. Lights out, and we're racing in Season 12.
Vamos, Mexico City. Welcome to all of our viewers from wherever you are around the world for round 9 of the WOR season here in 2022. 7 races to go, and sometime during the next 6 weeks, this engrossing title battle will finally be decided. Here we are then at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, named of course in honour of Ricardo and Pedro, the 2 Rodriguez brothers, who will we be honouring in a few hours' time as the latest race winner in this topsy-turvy season. Well, if you're thinking of taking a siesta, then forget it. We've got the Fiesta to come first. 2.6 miles long this track, there are 3 DRS zones to help overtaking, there are 17 corners, 7 to the left and 10 to the right, and some of the highest top speeds on the calendar over the course of the entire season. The tyres for this race, the C4 is the soft, the C3 is a medium, and the C2 is the hard. Expect to see an awful lot of the C3 and C2 during the race, because tyre wear is always a major factor around this circuit. Qualifying is already underway, so let's get down to the track and see who can claim the all-important pole position. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to live coverage of the Tier 4 Championship here in WOR. This is round number 9, as you can see, for the Mexican Grand Prix. And my name is XSmithyX. I'm not your usual commentator, as you probably worked out already. Steve unfortunately could not make it this week, and so it turns out you're stuck with me for the rest of the season. Like I said, my name is XSmithyX, also known as Reese. I've been doing some commentary for WOR in some other tiers, so hopefully there shouldn't be too much of a drop in quality this evening. As you can see, here around Mexico, things looking pretty dry so far. Got a couple of cars going out on their first laps, and hopefully we should have a good qualifying session. If any of you are new to how WOR works, we are here for a 18-minute qualifying session today, just a short qualifying session here in World Online Racing, and that will be followed by a 50% Grand Prix around the Mexican Hermanos Rodriguez circuit, as we mentioned there during the intro. Just making sure we have everything up and ready. It looks like CRT, as in the Alpha Tauri, is going to be the first person to set a lap. And he is just preparing his tyres now. Very important to do around this circuit, of course. The very, very long back straight, 1.2 kilometres. The brakes and tyres will be very, very cold by the time we reach the end of the straight. So let's see what Az can do, as he is the first one, like I said, to cross the start-finish line. A couple of cars coming out of the pits. You might be able to steal a sneaky little bit of a slipstream as we come down in towards turn 1. Very important braking zone this. Very easy to lock a brake, like we mentioned. Cold brakes, cold tyres, but it looks like he's nailed that pretty much perfectly. Got to be very careful through these corners. Incredibly easy to invalidate, but he hasn't, and he is on his way down the second straight, stealing a little bit of a slipstream there from one of the Red Bull drivers as he heads down towards the turn 4 and 5 complex. Important there to brake in a straight line, get the car turned in, and then into turn 5. Can he get the rotation through there? Nicely done. Before we go into this double apex right-hander of turn 6. Takes a lot of inside curb there, goes extremely wide on the exit, somehow doesn't invalidate, and then we go into this incredibly fast sequence of corners. That, though, definitely will be an invalidation, and he will have to go again, which is unfortunate for the Alpha Tauri man. Let's find somebody else on a lap. Here we have Yozu, I'm going to pronounce that. ETE Jaffa in the chat. I've screwed up. I'm supposed to be in the Williams. Yes, I had noticed. Don't worry, I wasn't going to say anything, but now you brought it up, I assume it's fine to. Yozu has invalidated, unfortunately, on the mediums. Probably going to see a lot of this, like we mentioned in the Grand Prix intro that you saw just a couple of minutes ago. The medium is definitely the preferred race tyre around here. The delta between the soft and the medium is incredibly high. It's about 1.1 seconds between a fresh set of softs and a fresh set of the medium compound tyres, as CRT Archie goes fastest with a 14.7 in his McLaren. But back to the point I was making. There is incredible delta, but the soft tyres wear out so quickly around here. As Barney has managed to pick up a penalty. That's impressive. Not sure what has gone on here. It looks like him and Griffiths have come together through the S section, and that is unfortunately a 5-place grid penalty for Barney. Definitely not what he would have wanted. Currently sitting, I believe, P8 in the championship at this moment in time. The Alfa Romeo driver, best qualifying of 6 so far, so he'll do well if he's going to improve on that with a 5-place grid penalty. We have another Alfa Romeo, that'll be Matt, about to cross the line. He must have invalidated though, 17.6, but he's not on the boards. And what else do we have coming up? We have an absolute gaggle of cars going through this final corner. LGS will be the first of those on the medium size. What will he do? It's a 117 flat, and just behind him, I believe Sem, also on the mediums, has just set a 15.6. A very good lap from him there, considering, like I said, just how big the tyre delta is. Who do we have coming through the final couple of corners? Let's go on board with SLR Connor as he comes down towards this very tricky braking zone into what I believe is turn 12. Before we head into the stadium section. Beautiful stadium section here, old baseball stadium, as he flies through there in the Red Bull. He's going to throw the car into this final corner. Important to hook the car over the curb there, but I forget how to speak. Comes up to the line, and he goes into P3 with a 1:15.0. Decent lap from him. Nitro there in the Ferrari has also set a 16.1. We have just missed that, and his teammate AMS Jaffa has just started a lap. So a pretty quick start to qualifying here. 6 minutes in so far. Most people, like I said, there is actually quite an interesting split between those going for the mediums and those going for the soft compound tyres. Is Blair going for another lap? No, he is about to come into the pits. Let's have a look. Is Sam on a push lap here? No, he's about 4 seconds down by the looks of it. As Matt has actually improved for Alfa Romeo. That's a great lap from him. A 14.6 at this stage in qualifying is very respectable. Let's quickly flick through and get on board with Jaffa. I believe he's on a lap coming through turn 6 right now. Gets the traction down nicely through there, gets the car rotated, and now into the S's. Incredible in these cars. Chuck the car in and pray that it sticks. Looks like he went a little bit wide through there, and he is then invalidated. So unfortunate there for the Ferrari driver. We had someone just improve. I believe that is TTM Stonks. He's up there on a 15.2, up into P5 is the Alpine man. Have we got anyone else on a lap? Yes, we've got Osku, currently P2 in the championship. He's not been in the best of forms, not been on the podium for the last 3 races. He led the championship, remember, coming out of, I believe it was round 4 or 5. And yeah, he needs to get a good result today, especially considering that the championship leader is not here today. Fat Blocky Man is not racing in this Grand Prix. He's got a 22-point lead, and if Osku can manage to win this, he can get himself right back in the championship hunt with 6 races to go. But he's going to need to do a better lap than he's done so far. He has invalidated. Is he going to go again, or is he going to dive into the pits? No, he is backed off. And the Williams comes into the pit. We've got John Boy Racing in the chat. What's up, Smithy? How are you? I'll be honest with you, mate. Not too well. I've recently caught COVID, so not the best. But yeah, very excited to be here. I'm not doing too bad. I did a negative test today, so hopefully we are on the back end of it. But let's focus more on the action out on track, because that is what you have all tuned in for. AMS Fairley is now on a lap. One of the very few people to have a 100% top 10 record in qualifying so far this season. 7 from 7, I should say, for the Alpha Tauri driver. Gets a nice run through that very tricky first complex. Now, got to make sure you get your braking right here. It's very important to brake in a straight line. The game says he's gone purple, but we all know the game's a little bit generous when it comes to giving out purple sets of times. So we will believe that when we see it. Through turn 6, you want to use that inside curb there, not use too much of it though. Use a lot of the track on the exit, just like you want to do. Maximise that track width, throws the car into the S's, and once again, what can he do as we go on board with him through here? Cuts that corner nicely. Just got to make sure you don't invalidate. So easy to do through here. We're going to see a lot of track limit penalties as this race goes on. Now down towards turn 12, like we mentioned, very tricky braking zone. Using the curb on the inside, throw the car in, don't invalidate. Nicely done, and then get the car rotated and stopped for a very tricky hairpin. Manage the traction through here, use this curb on the outside, turn the car into the final corner, make sure you hook that inside curb, runs it out to the wall, and what is this going to be? It looks like a very decent lap for the AlphaTauri man, and it is. It's pole position at the moment, 1:14.636, beating out Matvell by about half a tenth there. So a very decent lap. We've got a one of the Aston Martins has just crossed the line, and that was Yozu, but I don't believe he is on a lap. Or he might just be starting one, not too sure. The other AlphaTauri of CRT as coming around the final couple of corners. Now, what can he do on his lap? He goes up into P7. Good little lap from him there on a 15.2 and a very close midfield. And honestly, I'm quite surprised by the number of people who we are seeing deciding to go for that soft compound tyre, because the alternate strategy around Mexico is notoriously quite powerful. You see a couple of people, it looks like TD123 in the McLaren, it looks like Callum as well. Is he on a set of softs? No, he is on medium, so maybe a couple of these drivers are considering trying to do the alternate strategy, as Callum is just doing donuts by the looks of it. It's probably not going to help, I won't lie to you. The other Hasso of TTM Rossi is about to start a lap, so let's go with the Haas driver. Just keep an eye. We've got an Alfa Romeo about to come around the final corner. Is that Barney? It is Barney. He jumps up straight into P3, so a great little lap there. Alfa Romeo is currently 2-3. That is definitely what they're going to want for their championship challenge. Currently sat in, I believe it's P6 in the Constructors' Championship. Quite some way off, but they are in a little bit of a battle with Red Bull and Alpine, so that's definitely going to be something they want to keep an eye on. And something we need to keep an eye on is ETE Sem. Another one of these drivers with a 100% top 10 record in qualifying. He has managed to get into P2. And look at that, the top three drivers separated by just half a tenth of a second at this stage in qualifying, showing just what a high level these drivers are driving at. We've got a queue of cars as Sen has lost it coming through the second to last corner. TD123 has just completed a lap, but where does that put him? Into P13, sorry, 1:16.0 for him. Not a bad lap, to be fair, so he'll be probably pretty happy with that. We're on board with Osku, though. Can he get a lap together? Currently down in P19 after invalidating his first run. Definitely not what you want to see. I believe one of the Ferraris, probably Nitro, I think, has just crossed the line and completed a lap. That's put him into P8 with a 15.1, so a decent little lap from him there as we watch the Williams through this middle sector. Cuts that corner nicely. Got to watch it on the exit. Doesn't run it out too wide. Very nicely done. So he comes to the middle sector split. What is it? It's a 55.647. No idea if that's quick or not, because I haven't actually been paying attention to the splits. Comes into the stadium section, get the car rotated nicely, cuts that corner a lot, very lucky to get away without a track invalidation through there, hits that inside curb. You really don't want to hit the sausage, which is what he has done. Takes the shortest run to the line, and it's a 14.3 for the Williams driver. What a lap that is, putting himself 0.3 of a second clear, and I imagine he's probably going to be quite happy with that lap, you have to say. Sen is probably coming into the pits, which means we have one of the Mercedes, that's Aiden, about to start his hot lap, and who is behind him? I believe it'll be the McLarens. We've got TD123. Stonks has just jumped up into P2. Missed that one. That's a great little lap from Stonks there. Williams 1-2 so far, and they're going to be very, very happy with that, considering they are in the championship hunt for the Constructors' Championship. They currently have a 29-point lead over Mercedes-Benz, and a 1-2 is a very, very good way to go about trying to continue that. Blair has retired from the session. Not entirely sure how he's done that. We're going to go on board with Fairley. Hopefully his car won't despawn and we can see what has happened to Blair. Very unfortunate for him. Been one of the informed drivers, to be fair. Completed, looks like he's had an accident there. Yeah, Blair has had points in the last 4 races. One of the most informed drivers in the tier at the moment. So that's unfortunate for him. He's P14 at best. And that could potentially become even worse if a few more drivers out there do improve. You can see, if you look at the minimap in the bottom left, you can see an absolute gaggle of cars coming through the middle sector right now, so it looks like everyone is going out for what I imagine will be their second to last run, just leaving themselves enough time to get around, get back into the pits and do one more flying lap. But we are on board with AMS Fairley, currently in P3 with that 1:14.636. What can he do? We have a couple of people in chat. Archie blocked for the second time today, GG's, yeah, probably not happy with that, and Blair, yes. Oops is probably the word. We see Fairley with a huge lock-up. Like I mentioned, very easy to do. The unloaded front tyre into that first corner. You've got cold brakes, cold tyres after that 1.2 kilometre run down that long straight. Clearly tyres not quite up to temperature at the start of that for Fairley, and he is ever so slightly down as Codemasters give us probably the most useless camera angle I've ever seen through that corner. Just missed Aiden. He has jumped up to P4. That is very, very impressive. I believe this is Aiden's debut today. So very, very impressive pace from him to already be right up there in the top 4 with some very quick drivers. What is Fairley doing through this middle sector? He's doing that very, very aggressively, using all the track limits and more as we come to the middle sector split. It's a 55.5, so he's about a tenth of a second up on the time we saw from Ozku. Can he maintain this kind of speed through this final sector, though? Probably could have gone a little bit wider on entry there, but it's not a decent line through there. Gets it over the curb, turns it into the final corner. Got to make sure he doesn't understeer too much through there. Takes a shortest run to the line, keep it to the right-hand side, hug that curb, and it's a 1:14.4, so he's lost about 0.2 of a second overall to Ozku through that final sector, and he will be bitterly disappointed with that one. You have to say, one of the favourites for pole position today. Jaffer, what is wrong with you today? I have no idea, mate. Have we just witnessed a spin? Yes, we have. Griffiths was about 0.2 of a second up as well, so that's not what he will have wanted coming through the S section. He's got to be careful there. We've got a Haas coming through. Hopefully it'll be nice and out of the way of Callum. I believe that is, yes, TTM Callum. Going to the middle split. It's a 56.6. It is a 4/10 improvement, but it's a 4/10 improvement on a 16.7. And he's backed off. Oh, that could be a block, because I believe, was that Griffiths? Oh, no, it's Griffiths, so he's already spun. So very, very lucky there. And Jaffa, yep, 1 run to go, 3 minutes 50 to go in this session. Needs to try and get a time on the board if he is going to do anything today and not be starting from the back of the grid. It's not the worst place to start last. Has to be said, there are worse tracks overtaken at Mexico. Like we mentioned, 3 DRS zones, very, very long straights. It's very easy to pick up places, and as we've mentioned a few times, track limit penalties, I'm expecting to see quite a few today, so if you can keep it clean during the race, there is an argument to be made that just keeping it clean and not making mistakes will actually pay you better off than being just very, very quick. Do we have anyone on a lap right now? I believe Epic is just about to finish a lap. He was, I just missed it though. He's set a 15.0 and he's in P11. So maybe he's trying to go for that strategic pole position, as we like to call it here in WOR. Going for 11th place, of course, gives him free choice of tyres. And maybe he is going to try that alternate strategy. We've got a lot of drivers currently on outlaps. I believe Ozku has just started his lap. So let's go on board with the current poleman. What can he do? Can he improve on that time in what is pretty sure to be one of his final runs? He has gone out a little bit early, but we do see this from time to time. Drivers going out and just giving themselves just that little bit of time. If they mess it up, he's got time to back off, cool the tyres down, recharge that battery, and go out for a second run. And then you have the likes of TTM Stonks, who is leaving it a little bit closer. He might not be able to get 2 laps in, although, to be fair, he is at the end of the lap, so he probably will, if I'm being honest. Oh my word, Ozku is a 10.5 up through that first sector. That is a very impressive time. Gets it nicely through turn 6. Lovely little camera shot here. He flies through this middle sector. He's going to throw the car into the S's, using all the curb. Make sure not to get too hooked over it, though, because you can get a huge snap of oversteer. Throws it into the second part. Cuts that corner. How is he on track limits on the exit? He plays it very, very nicely. Comes up to the middle sector. He's a 10th or 1.95 tenths up. So this is going to be an absolutely storming lap if he can keep this within track limits and not make a mistake through this tricky final sector. Manages a traction, cuts that corner nicely, turns it in, and what is it going to be as he rounds the final corner? Gets the traction down, takes the shortest run to the line. What's it going to be for the Williams driver? It's a 1:14.107. What a great lap that is, as Sem has tried to match it but can only go, what is that, about 0.2 of a second slower. So what a lap we're seeing from Ozku there. He knows how important this race is for his championship challenge, and he has laid down a benchmark. We've got ERT Aiden about to start his final lap in this qualifying session, and he knows how important this is going to be. We've got Archie, who has managed to retire. I think he's retired in the pit, so he's not going to go again. He's happy with that P9. Maybe, like we mentioned, he's trying to make sure that he gets that strategic pole position, banking on a few people in front of him, trying to set a better lap. I think Callum has gone off in the middle sector. What's happened out here? Oh no, Callum's at the final corner. Not entirely sure what he's doing there. Is he coming into the pits? Yes, he is. He's just trying to stay out of the way. We had a McLaren way off in the middle sector, though. But who is about to set a lap time? Have we got Connor? No, it's not Connor. Who is it? Stonks is... He must have backed off. He's about to go for his final run. Sem has backed off. Is Ozku on another lap? I don't think he is. No. So who should we follow at this stage? Fairley, is he going to have enough time? Yes, he's got about 30 seconds spare, so he should be absolutely fine there. TTM Rossi coming around the final corner. He is about to start his final run, so we'll keep an eye on what kind of sector times he can set. We've got ERC Aiden ever so slightly up, but if he can just find another tenth and a bit, he might be able to displace Barney from that P5 and get a very impressive debut top 5 result. Comes down the final corner. What is it going to be for the Mercedes driver? Up to the line. It's a 1:14.435, and he does, by the skin of his teeth, he manages to displace Barney for that P5 position. But we've got a few more drivers yet with something to say. I think Sem is going to come into the pits. His qualifying session is over. We've got Stonks there. We just caught the end of that crash. He has retired from the session. Got a few drivers coming into the pits. Got Ferrari about to cross the line. That is Jaffa. He is just about up, but oh, he has invalidated. So I'm getting excited for absolutely no reason, it turns out. LGS is going to be the next one to cross the line, but he's 17 seconds down. So don't imagine that's a pretty decent lap. TD123 has invalidated, which means the next car will be, I think it's going to be Fairley, the AlphaTauri man. Haven't seen any of his sector splits, so is this going to be a good lap? Can he get himself above Stonks, above Sem, and try and get himself on to the front row? He has got a pole position already this season. Can he make it another one, though? As he comes up to the line, it's very, very close, to be fair. He pips Sem up into P2. What a great little lap that was, and I think that may be the end of qualifying unless anyone else is on a lap. Doesn't appear to be. Whew, that was a pretty hectic qualifying session. 18 minutes absolutely flown by. But it is the man in second place in the championship. It is Osku15 who has pole position for this round. A 1:14.107, putting him just over a tenth of a second clear of the rest of the pack. Taking his third pole position of the season. And a very, very important one at that. AMS Fairley, he'll be pretty happy with P2 in this one with a 14.239. Just pipping Sem on a 14.299. Then obviously TTM Stonks, he is reserving in the Williams because Jaffa is an idiot and got in the wrong car. Aiden in P5, like we said, very, very impressive. Barney's P6, but does have that 5-place grid penalty to serve for that collision early in qualifying. That'll promote Connor up into P6. We've got Matt in P7, Archie up to P8, Rossi P9, and Jaffa will start inside the top 10, but crucially will have that free choice of tyre. Due to the fact he has actually qualified outside the top 10. Epic is in P12 just ahead of Nitro. LGS in the Alpine in P14 ahead of CRT as in 15th. We've got Griffiths, AEM TD123. That is a mouthful. He has decided to qualify in the mediums. Bit of a strange decision to be fair, but only 3 tenths off the strategic pole position. Callum P18 in the Haas. Blair 19th, and then I completely missed who was in last because I'm a professional streamer. But yes, what's a very intense qualifying session. I'm just going to very quickly have a drink, so do excuse me for just 2 Okay, so it turns out we have had a bit of a game glitch. We are going to have to go through a lobby restart, unfortunately. So do excuse me for just a couple of seconds while we try and get everything back up and running. In the meantime, let's put a little bit of music back on and just give you guys just a little bit of entertainment while we try and sort the lobby out. Do apologise for this. There has been a recent patch for the Formula 1 game that appears to have just broken it. So yeah, apologies for that. We'll get that sorted as quickly as possible for you guys and try and get the stream back up and running. We can get into what I'm sure is going to be an extremely, extremely interesting Grand Prix. Just give me 2 seconds. Just to put some music on, and then I will get back into the session. Okay, so we are back into the lobby. Hopefully we can get this set up nice and quickly and get the action back underway for you. Very, very exciting. Yeah, very, very exciting race ahead of us. We've got a great grid. Obviously, that lap from Osku in the Williams, absolutely incredible. Putting himself over a tenth of a second clear of what is a very, very impressive grid. You know, we've got the likes of Stonks in here, who is legitimately one of the top 50 fastest drivers on Xbox. To out-qualifying by nearly a tenth and a half is, extremely impressive. Around a lap this short. Obviously, like I said, Stonks very, very quick, very impressed with him. We've got Sem in the Red Bull. He's right up there in the top 5 of the championship. If my research tells me correctly, let me just double check that very quickly for you. No, I'm talking absolute rubbish. He's actually down like P8, but he's still a very, very quick driver. And this is going to be a very exciting race. The start always is, especially at Mexico, is an 811 metre run from pole position down to the first corner. It's going to be an absolute slipstream fest. Fully expect to see drivers 3 or 4 wide going into that first corner. And I'm really, really excited to see what can happen. The level of driver we have in this tier is sensational. These guys, legitimately, probably top 100, top 150 in the world, currently on Xbox. So expect a very, very close race. We'll probably see a lot of DRS trains, but I'm fully expecting absolute carnage. I've been promised carnage by some of the members in the tier. I have seen the instant reports from the last couple of races, and let's just say they're rather lengthy. So I'm expecting a few crashes, but hopefully it will be entertaining nonetheless. Like I said, I think everyone is pretty much in here now. So we just need to set the grid up, and then we can jump straight back into the session and get the racing underway. Like we said, it will be a full 50% race, so that is 36 laps around the Hermanos Rodriguez circuit. Tyre wear, like we mentioned during the little pre-show, is very, very high around this circuit. I'm genuinely surprised by the number of people who have decided to go for the soft compound tyre. Like I said, there is quite a big delta between the soft and the medium. It is about 1.1 seconds, but the softs around here die after about 4 or 5 laps. So it'll be interesting to see, do they try and go for a 2-stop? Are they going to stretch the softs out? Maybe go for a 1? And yeah, there is actually, sorry, just looking down at my notes, there is a very high chance of a safety car in this tier. They've done 8 races so far. There's been 4 VSCs and 16 safety cars, so odds are we're going to get a safety car at some point in this race, and that's going to throw the strategy even more up in the window. I'm expecting risks to be taken and some great battling up and down the grid. Anyway, apologies for the delay. Like I said, I do hope you did enjoy the qualifying session. Let me know in the chat, who is your prediction? Who are you picking to win this race? I have got the chat up, so, drop your comments in the chat, get some interaction going. I do enjoy talking to you guys as we cover these races. Very good to get some fan interaction. So let me know, who are you expecting? Obviously, this is the first time I've commentated on these races on Tier 4. Some of you may have watched a few more, so let me know, who should I be watching out for in this race? Who do you think is going to be making the moves, and who is in the prime position to get a race victory? Obviously, Fat Blocky Man isn't here today. He's won 4 races this season. He's a championship leader. He probably would have been the favourite if he was here, but he's not racing, which is, crucial for those guys. He needs to try and get some points on the board and try and close that gap. And yeah, the championship, like we said, there are 6 rounds to go after the end of this one. I believe, if memory serves me correctly, which it probably won't, so let me get the calendar up very, very quickly. We have 6 rounds of the calendar to go. Next week will be Australia. Obviously, we have the real-life Formula 1 race there this weekend, so it'll be very interesting to see how these guys do in comparison to their real-life counterparts. Then we go to the Portimao circuit in Portugal a week later. followed by Saudi Arabia, a track I absolutely love, so I'm really excited to see how the racing goes around there. Then we have the French Grand Prix around my least favourite track on the calendar, but it does tend to produce some pretty interesting racing. Then we have Britain as the penultimate race before the championship finale in Brazil, as is tradition at this point. And we are expecting it to be a pretty exciting one. I believe the grid should be just about sorted. I have spectated, haven't I? Yes, I have. Yeah, just waiting on the lobby to be sorted now, and then we can jump straight back into it and get the action underway. As I said, 36 lap race around here should take somewhere in the region of about 50 minutes, so plenty of action still to come. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in. Do appreciate it massively. Just wish we didn't have to have these game issues, because I have to sit here and waffle. It's not really my strong point. Yes, that's something we can talk about. So normally, like I said, Steve has been commentating over these. If you have been watching the streams that I've done in Tier 9, Tier 7, Steve has been my co-com for the entirety of the season. He was supposed to be my co-com today. They've given us more power, and for some reason they're letting us commentate on even more races, despite the fact they're usually carnage. So he should hopefully be back next week for the race around Australia. Really looking forward to doing more work with him, and hopefully you guys will appreciate having a commentary team rather than having to make me waffle. It's really not my strong point. Let me just double check the Discord, see what's going on. It looks like everyone is readying up though, so I assume that means everything is ready to go. A man can hope. Yes, finally, there we go. Everyone is readying up. Apologies for the delay in the session, but we are just a couple of minutes away now from getting under... well, I thought we were. Never mind. Yeah, I put all this work in to gather some stats and have stuff to talk about, and then we get screwed over by a game breaking. Codemasters, please sort the game out. Not going to rant about it too much, because, you know, other creators have probably already had to say over the course of this game cycle, but yeah, hopefully they can sort out the online connectivity, because it isn't the best. But we are now ready to jump back into the session, so let's get our game faces on and get ready for what is sure to be a very exciting race. Thank you so much for sticking around during this little bit of a delay. But hopefully we can have an interesting and very exciting race that will make up for it, let's say. Now, of course, there will be just a couple of minutes of delay while people get their setups on, load the right tyres. Obviously, very important that people do load the right tyres. So if you are watching the stream and you are in the race, please remember to do that. We've got Jaffa in the chat. I'm in my Williams again. Good lad. He's finally managed to get in the right car. It's only taken, what, 45 minutes? Yeah, everyone is going to get everything ready. Make sure they've got setups on, all that kind of stuff. So while we're here, why don't we run you through some stats that I've been gathering during my research over the last couple of days. Let's have a look at some of the in-form and some of the out-of-form drivers. Obviously, Blocky was going to be one of my informed drivers and picks for this race. He's picked up 52 points during the last 3 Grand Prix. He's the most informed driver in the tier right now. Obviously, he's winning the championship, so you'd expect that. Blair, he's got 4 points finishes in a row. Very consistent from what I've seen over the course of my research to get ready for this. And then Barney is the only person in the tier who has a 100% point scoring record in races that he's turned up for. So can he keep that streak going today and get some more points on the board for him? Currently lying, I believe that is P8 in the championship on 39 points. So hopefully he can get a few more on the board today. In terms of drivers, out of form, looking for a bit of a bounce back. Fairly, he had 3 second places to start off the season. Yeah, 3 second places to start the season off, but has not scored points in the last 4 races. He is going to want to have a much better result. Like we said, he did have a very good qualifying, so he's in a very good position to try and add some more points. But hopefully for him, he can have a nice, clean race. We've got Sem, a bit out of form. He's had 4 DNFs in the last 5 Grand Prix and 5 DNFs over the first 8 races of the season. He's very, very quick, but it does appear to have a few inconsistencies in his game. So that's going to be something we're going to keep an eye on over the course of this race as I try and fill in for everyone trying to sort the setups out. We've got Barney in the chat. Yes, wow, let's go. Very, very impressed, to be fair. It's not easy in a league like WOR. I know for a fact myself because I've raced in it for about a season and a half before I had to pull out of this season. Yeah, getting points is not easy, and to do it in every single race you've attended, very, very impressive stuff. Yeah. So we're going to get ready. Like I said, Osku is on pole. George Morgan TV, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do really appreciate having you here, my friend. And thank you for the advice the other day. I did message George on Twitter the other day about some advice about my commentating and getting some new gear. It's very, very helpful. If you don't know who George is, then who are you? Absolutely great guy. If you're not already subscribed to his YouTube channel, go and check it out. He's got some great stuff on there. And join his Discord as well. It's very, very friendly. Very, very helpful. But back to some stats that we delivered. Yeah, we were talking about Oscar. He has pole position for this Grand Prix. But over the course of this season so far, that is not a guarantee that he's going to go on to win the race. In fact, out of the 8 Grand Prix we have had so far this season here in Tier 4, only 3 races have been won from pole position. In fact, there have been as many races won from outside the top 4 than there has been from pole. So expect outside winners. Last race, the 3 drivers on the podium all started outside the top 10. So, you know, it's absolutely crazy scenes during the last race. I'm very, very upset I didn't get to commentate on that one, because that appeared to be an absolutely crazy race. I believe the race winner won from about 15th on the grid. So, absolutely crazy scenes. And hopefully we can have a repeat today. And like I said, expect a safety car. 16 safety cars in 8 races so far this season. In fact, the last race is the only one so far this season where the safety car has not been involved. The race before that, I think it was in Canada. Oh no, 2 races ago in Canada, there were 4 safety cars. So there is an incredible amount of scope for carnage in this one. And, you know, I'm very, very excited for what is going to come. But hopefully, there we are. We are loaded in, getting ready for the formation lap. And as you can see, let's run you down the grid order. It has been about 10 minutes now since the end of qualifying. So, actually, very quickly, just going to get everything up that we need on the screen. We'll go for position check. Actually, no, on the formation lap. We'll have a look at what tyres everyone is starting on. And as predicted, there is a massive split between the soft and the medium compound tyres. So we have Osku. Like I said, important race for him. The championship leader is not here. He's 22 points behind him. If he can find a way to win this race and become the 4th pole man to win the race this season, he could take the championship lead away and strike back a little bit after some bad form over the course of the last 3 races. We have AMS Fairley in P2. Great little result for there in qualifying for the AlphaTauri driver. He also starts on the softs just ahead of ETE Sem. We've got TTM Stonks. He's now in the Ferrari after Jaffa has got in the correct car. Aiden on his debut P5. Very, very impressive stuff from him. And we're going to see what he can do on his debut. SLR Connor, P6 for the Red Bull reserve driver. He's taken part in 1 race so far this season and he got on the podium. Can he make it 2 from 2? We've got Matt in the Alfa Romeo just ahead of CRT Archie. TTM Rossi is the last of the top 10 qualifiers to start in the top 10. Jaffa is in P10, starting on the mediums, remember. He was elevated because of that grid penalty for Barney, so that's why Barney is on the softs. And then every single driver outside the top 10, as you can see, starting on that medium compound of tyre. Going for the alternate strategy, like I said, it is extremely powerful around this circuit. And it's going to be interesting to see how that strategy is going to play out. Expect the top 10 and Barney to be extremely quick for the first few laps, but those soft tyres will fade. And it's going to be interesting to see how the medium tyre is going to phase into this Grand Prix as the last few people come around the last corner now. So we are getting ready then to go to 5 red lights for the Mexican Grand Prix. If you do go on to enjoy this race, please do leave a like and show your support for WOR by hitting the subscribe button. They do some incredible work and put on great racing entertainment for all of you guys as well as the people competing. So leave a subscribe. They've just hit 2,500 subscribers. Let's get this channel growing. But it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Mexican Grand Prix. We're going to switch over very quickly to the position gain. I pressed the wrong button there, but here we are then for 5 red lights for the Mexican Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go, and Oscu gets a decent little start there. We've got AMS Fairley going side by side. A great little start from TTM Stonks as he's already in the slipstream, and here we go, the 811 metre run down the pit straight towards the first corner. Very important braking zone. Is Oscu going to be able to defend his position? Fairley tries to go around the outside. He's going to use the inside line for the next corner, but it's a very, very clumsy corner that you can't really hold it too wide there. A little bit of contact as Stonks has hit the back of Fairley. We've got Aiden who's gone down 2 positions on his debut. Sem has had a disaster start. I believe he's spun in the background. He's dropped 16 positions. Jaffa is down 10. As we see this absolute gaggle of, just look at this, absolute craziness here on the opening lap. Nitro has had an incredible start. He's up 6 positions, 7 positions now on those mediums as he tries to take advantage of Aiden, who got forced a little bit wide as we head down towards the S's. Is he going to be able to hold it around the outside? No, he's not, wisely choosing to back out there. But what a crazy first lap that was. We've got Matt trying to get back past the Ferrari. Not really an overtaking spot. Side by side through the S's. Can they keep it within track limits? Oh my word, where has the Ferrari gone there? He's got the move done. Aiden has lost a couple of positions, and this is absolute carnage on the opening lap here of the Tier 4 Grand Prix here at Mexico. Cars off the circuit, left, right and centre. Nitro up into P6. We've got Rossi. He's into P7, made up a couple of positions. But the big losers on the opening lap as Aiden has had to cut the corner there. And he's now about 5 wide coming through that final corner. He must have damage. He does. He's coming into the pits. And that is not what he wanted on his WOR debut. Had an incredible start to qualifying. Stonks did pick up damage in that opening lap, opening corner incident with Fairley, and we've got a lot of drivers coming in. That's their strategy's pretty much ruined already, and they are going to be hoping for a safety car later on in this Grand Prix. But as we go back out to the front 4 here, they have got an incredible getaway. They're already 3 seconds clear of that chasing pack behind. We've got another car off in the background. I believe that's CRT as in the Alpha Tauri. Yes, it is. He looks like he's got a little bit of damage, so he must have had some contact as we came through that first corner. But back to the front. Oscu, he's got about a 0.6 of a second lead. He's going to be trying to break the DRS on this lap. Obviously, the end of this lap, DRS will be activated, and it is incredibly powerful. Like we mentioned, 3 DRS zones. We're about to go through one now. Obviously, not on this lap, but 3 DRS zones coming through here around this Mexican circuit. It is worth so much time, and if you can break that DRS, it is so easy to then start to pull away as Oscu goes a little bit deep there, maybe feeling the pressure. He knows how important this race is for his championship. But what a start for these front 4. Already 3.5 seconds clear of the absolute train of cars behind Nitro there in P5. Fastest lap tumbling is SLR Connor, who has the fastest lap with an 18.0 so far, as he's used quite a lot of his battery, to be fair, down to 25% already. He's got half of the ERS that Fairley has, currently sat in P2, and I imagine Fairley, is he going to play this tactical, or is he going to go all-out attack and try and get that P1 from the Williams driver in front? It's going to be interesting to see how he plays this on 55% battery so far. He's got about the same as Oscu has behind, as we get this lovely little camera shot looking back from the rear wing of the Williams driver. And yeah, this battle is going to be very interesting. Like we said, we'll switch it back over now to the tyre graphics. You can see where everyone is. Nitro, like we said, very important to keep an eye at these medium runners. While he may not be very quick now, and he does have a 4.5 second gap to those in front, those mediums are going to start to phase in as this race goes on. He's got 2 drivers behind him, Barney and Rossi, who qualified ahead of him on the soft compound tyre. If he can keep them behind, he's looking very, very strong for a top 5 result later on in this race. But keeping cars behind is a lot easier said than done, especially in WOR with the level that of driver that we have. We have another little train here for P11. LGS currently heading that one. Decent little performance here for the Alpine driver coming through into the stadium section. Got a few cars behind. We had a car off there. I believe there's a side-by-side action here as TTM Callum and Yozu are going side-by-side into the stadium. Managing to keep it clean. Those are both on the mediums. Matt is getting interested there on those soft compound tyres. He's not had a good start at all, and he's going to try and get a move done, and maybe on both of them using the DRS. We've already got a car in the pits. That's AMS Blair on the mediums. So surely he must have a little bit of damage there. Going off the mediums that early. It looks like we're going to be going 3 wide. Can Matt get this move done on Callum up ahead? They've both got DRS, obviously, off the Aston Martin. Stonks has set the fastest lap of the race with a 17.5. Obviously, doesn't mean too much in this league, but obviously nice to have. Matt trying to get a decent exit off this corner. Not able to do it, though, and obviously, with the way the DRS on this track works, the second bite of the cherry, Callum is going to be able to hold on. It's very close. Matt actually makes contact there. That might be a little bit of damage. For his sake, he hopes not. We have a couple of penalties. Stonks and Archie now with penalties. Obviously, Archie not going to be happy with that. Barney also picking up a penalty as he comes through the S section. Like we mentioned, very, very likely we see a lot of penalties. Barney has actually got past Nitro now, but that is to be expected with the tyre disadvantage that Nitro has on those Ferraris. A couple of people in the chat, hello, thank you for tuning in, all of you. I hope you are enjoying the commentary and the action so far. It's been a pretty crazy start to this race, and hopefully over the course of the next 30 laps, over the next, 40, 50 minutes, we can carry on providing you with some great entertainment. Nitro here trying to tuck into the slipstream. Can he use that DRS to defend from TTM Rossi behind? Like we mentioned, Rossi is on those much fresher and much softer tyres. Can he go for a move up the inside into turn 1? Nitro parking the car nicely there, just in the middle, leaves absolutely no space. Can Rossi hold it around the outside? It's going to be risky trying to go up the inside there. So easy to spin the car with the contact model on this game. Thinks better of it and does back off. He's got Freestyler behind him though. Rossi's going for the move now. Second bite at the cherry down this DRS straight. He's going to go to the inside. The Mercedes is looking interested in this battle as well. He is going to want to get involved and try and gain some positions. Very, very hard, but, you know, fair defending there from the Ferrari. And Rossi, it's the classic thing. He's trying to look forward to attack, but he's got to look backwards to defend. Freestyler's trying to go around the outside to get a beautiful little camera shot there. Tucks back into line, though, because going side by side through this section, definitely not advised. And TD123, he is all over the back of that Mercedes. He looks to have some pretty decent pace at this stage of the Grand Prix. But let's jump back to this battle for the lead. These four still within a second of each other in this little DRS train, and they're just going to work together now to keep that gap to that battle behind nice and large. And, you know, they don't need to fight at this point in the race. There are, like we said, 30 laps to go. Let's just look at the ERS levels of everyone as we go down here. We've got Oscar on 44%, Fairley is on 57%, Archie also on 57%, and Connor, who has actually been overtaken by Archie, we didn't see that. Archie up into P3, and Connor here has got 32% of his battery left as well. So he's already used quite a lot of that ERS, and maybe just deciding to drop back a little bit, get a little bit of that battery resave, as TD123 has got past Epic now, coming down that main straight. Must have been a pretty easy ERS pass, and Epic is the latest driver to pick up a 3-second time penalty. As we go on board with Rossi, he's touched the back of Nitro there. Can he get this moved on? He's trying to straighten up the corner, but just didn't get the rotation through there. I'm not sure if TD123 was up his inside or if he's just braked a little bit too late. Didn't quite get the rotation through there, and that's going to mean he's stuck through this entire middle sector once again behind the Ferrari in front. And, you know, this is what we mentioned. Barney here is in P5. He got past Nitro pretty easy, but we're on lap 6 now. Those tyres are going to be getting pretty second-hand, and Nitro's sticking with him. No, that's going to be a combination. One of the tyres going off, the medium starting to phase in at this point in the race, but also just how powerful, like we mentioned, the DRS is around here. 3 DRS zones can easily gain you about 6 or 7 tenths of a second every single lap. It's going to be interesting to see when are these guys going to come in, what strategy they're going to go for. Connor has just dropped off the back of Archie. So, oh, we've got a battle for the lead here. Osku, as I pressed the complete wrong button there, Fairley has gone around the outside. Great little move there. Sorry for my shoddy camera work. Fairley is up into the race lead. He's going to have the DRS again. That's going to leave Osku vulnerable here to CRT Archie. Is Archie going to try and make a move, or is he just going to sit behind? He's thinking about it. He's going to the inside, but he doesn't quite go for that lunge up the inside. We've got a yellow flag behind. Barney has spun. He must have made contact with someone, surely. Yes, he has. He's completely lost his front wing there, so must have been pretty heavy contact. And that has brought out the first VSC of this race. Like I said, very high likelihood of that happening. Let's just quickly take a second, catch everyone's breath, and let's run through the grid order and get up to date with what is going on. So AMS Fairley continues to lead this one in his very close battle with Osku. CRT Az has just got a 5-second penalty for speed in the pits, but he has now retired. That is our first retirement of the race. Unfortunate for him. Osku, like we mentioned, in P2. CRT Archie in the McLaren. P3 does have a 3-second time penalty, but I expect most of these drivers to be getting one by the end of this race. We've got SLR Connor, he is in P4. A lot of drivers faking about the pit stop there. Fairley has come into the pits. That's a very interesting decision. A little bit early. Is he going to have to go for a 2-stop in this race, or is he going to put on the hard compounder tyre? Interested to see what he does here. No, he's going for the medium. That to me says a 2-stop. I don't think anyway you can take mediums 28 laps around here. It's a very, very risky strategy. But he's playing the game. He's gone in under the virtual safety car, remember. That means that everyone around him will have been travelling at a slower speed, and that means he loses less time by making that pit stop. He's come out in a little bit of free air here, just ahead of the Aston Martin of Yozu. And he's got what's that, about a second and a half up in front before he gets into this absolute big train. So hopefully for him, he's going to be able to fight his way through that nice and quickly and not lose too much of the advantage that he has just gained. We've got SLR Griffiths trying to get past his teammate LGS into the braking zone. Barney had wing damage on that one and then got a wheel glitch into wall. That's absolutely devastating. It looks like the streak may be over for Barney unless he gets lucky with a safety car. Don't believe he's retired yet. Has Barney retired? Don't think so. No, he's not. Hopefully for his sake, though, he can get back into the race. Maybe see another safety car. Got a yellow flag. That is one of the Haas is off. That's TTM Rossi has spun it through that middle sector. Very easy to do on the curb there. I can't remember what corner number that is off the top of my head. I'm going to say turn 8. Very easy just to hook the car over there. You get a little bit too much on the power, especially as these soft tyres start to wear down. It is so easy to make that mistake. And that has dropped him down out the points now into P13 behind a whole host of medium runners. Fairley has already caught up to this train, so this is a crucial stage of this Grand Prix now. He's probably gained about 3 or 4 seconds by pitting under the virtual safety car, which is quite a lot of time in WOR. But if he gets caught behind this traffic now that is going at a much slower pace than those around him, it does look like Griffiths has got past his teammate, and Matt is trying to get that move done around the outside, goes very deep into that corner. Is he going to keep it up the inside there? He is. There's contact. And just like we said earlier on, it is so easy if you try and go up the inside of turn 2 there. Just hit the car at the wrong angle and it's sent you around. And Matt is the latest one. He will not be the last person in this game. As we see Stonks going extremely wide in the background there. I think he's getting ready for the next race by going that wide and travelling to, travelling to Portugal just that little bit early. But unfortunately there for Matt, he has spun. He's now out of the points and he's got a recovery job to do against some of these drivers. Fairly though, we're going to focus on him because he is the important one in this situation. How quickly can he get his way through this field? Remember, the Haas in front of him is Callum. This is 4th position. Callum has DRS as well, but it looks like Fairley, is he going to be able to get it up the inside? No, he's not. So Callum there going very deep on the brakes, trying to hold on to that position. Absolutely clattering that bollard there as we come through this final sector. Fairley though is going to try and set the move up coming out of the final corner. Probably going to use a little bit of his ERS there. He's got 89% off the battery to play with. Can he get this moved on? He's in the slipstream now. Is he going to use the overtake? It doesn't look like he is at this stage. Maybe he's got better straight line speed, knows that he's got a better setup. Is he gaining? He is starting to gain as we get towards the end of the straight. Callum's not got much ERS to play with, and that's a huge lunge there from the Alpha Tauri driver. They go side by side through the second corner. They do avoid contact. As I say that, they make a lot of contact. Callum's gone very wide. Where is Fairley? He's still on the circuit. Let's go on board with him. Just about got an overlap. He sends him the dummy. Pretends to go to the right. Sends it up the inside to the left. And that is an absolutely fantastic move there from the Alpha Tauri driver. Up into P9, and that is crucial for his race. And next up is the Alpine of LGS, who, crucially, as you look in the timing tower there in the top left, does not have DRS on his teammate. So you have to imagine Fairley will make pretty light work of that one as he goes about trying to not lose too much time to the cars in front that still have to pit. Archie, at some point as well, has got into the lead. I imagine that was just a simple ERS pass. Oscu might have made a mistake there. 1.6 seconds down. That's quite a lot of time to lose. So I imagine at some point the Williams driver there has made a mistake. And that is not what he will have wanted. But he does have the DRS now. He's probably just going to sit in the DRS. Recharge the battery a little bit. Not too much point in fighting at this stage as Archie goes extremely wide through there. Must have locked up a brake a little bit going into the corner. Or just missed his braking point. Very easy to do. And he's put himself under a little bit of pressure. We get this lovely little aerial shot. Is Oscu going to be able to make a move? No, he's not. He's not going to do a David Croft and lunge for about 4 miles back. But can he set him up through turn 5? Can he get the switch back? Get the traction down for turn 6? No, he can't. And it looks like Archie will lead for at least another sector before we get to the next DRS zone. But this is a very important race for Oscu. Like we said, the championship is 22 points behind. He had a great little run between rounds 3 and 5 where I believe he won 2 races and got a podium in the other. He retook the championship lead from Fat Blocky Man, who had the championship lead after the first few rounds. Absolutely storming stuff. And then the break week came after Zandvoort, of course, and it's just been downhill for him since there. He's not been on the podium since. He's lost 32 he's lost 32 points, excuse me, as I try and get my maths correct. Jaffa has, I believe, disconnected, or is that Callum? I'm not too sure. Hopefully the game isn't breaking on us, and we can try and get Callum back into the session. I might actually send him an invite myself. Excuse me for this. get him back into the game if possible. I'm not sure if that's a disconnect or if he is just quit the game for issues. But hopefully we can get him back in if it was an issue. But Osku here still within the DRS. Yeah, like we were saying, over the course of 3 races, he went from leading the championship to losing 32 points to Blocky Man. He's 22 points behind him now, and this is a golden opportunity in this one to retake that championship lead with Blocky Man not being here. But at the minute, he's not able to get this done. Archie has got the lead. Obviously, he does have that 3-second penalty, like we mentioned. Just as we mentioned penalties, Epic Freestyler does pick one up there. He's currently P6 in the... Oh, Archie's picked up another penalty. Osku's gone very, very wide there as well. Oh my word, what's happened there? Archie has somehow hit the inside wall. That is an absolute calamity for him. He's picking up penalties like candy from a baby at the moment. What has happened there? That is probably his race over. It looks like he's just ran wide going through the S section and has somehow clipped an inside wall. Has Connor disconnected as well? I'm not sure what's going on here. Looks like we've got a little bit of desync in the session, which is not ideal. What is Archie doing? AMS Blair has left the session now. Oh, we might be having a desync issue here, ladies and gentlemen. Not too sure. Not ideal. Just while we try and figure out what's going on. SLR Connor has continued. He is your race leader. We've got carnage going on here. Archie just trying to stay out of everyone's way without that front wing. TD123 is up into P2 now on that alternate strategy. Apologies, just trying to work out what is going on here. AMS Fairley has come out of the pits, and this is what we were talking about. Fairley is in P6. He has roughly, if my maths is correct, about a 3.5-second lead over Osku. So pitting under the VSC has given him a big advantage, but he now has much older tyres for the rest of this race. Obviously not sure what the strategy is saying, whether or not it is going to be another pit stop in this race, or if he's trying to go to the end. If he is trying to go to the end, he will be feeling that pain later on, and maybe Osku can make those 4-lap fresher tyres pay in the latter stages of this Grand Prix. It looks like we're having some connection issues according to the Discord. I don't think we're going to be restarting this race though. Now we are 13 laps in. Codemasters, please sort your game out. I didn't want to rant about it, but we were really shaping up for what was going to be a really exciting race then. But now we've got this desync issue that has been introduced with the patch, and yeah, things appear to have gone downhill. We've got a few people out. Hopefully we can try and get some people back in if they need an invite. It's just hard to know who actually needs one with the game lagging as it is, and the timing towers now decide to break as well. Yeah, this is pretty hard to commentate over because I don't know where anyone is, and I don't know if everyone's even in the session. But Nitro and TD123 still having their little battle here. So assuming they are both in the session, we'll stay on board with this and have a look at this little battle. See, can we see? No, we can't even see driver tags, so this is going well. Stonks is apparently leading the race. That might be correct. He hasn't yet pitted. No, it can't be. He must be right at the back. Connor is the one leading the race at the moment. TD123 is in second, ahead of Nitro. Freestyler is in P5, with AMS Fairley in P6, having made a pit stop. He's the leader of the cars that have currently pitted. Griffiths is currently P6. He's holding up the Williams of Osku. But I believe Osku is probably going to try getting back through. Blair wants an invite. Have to try inviting everyone who's not in, to be honest, because I'm not sure what is going on. Right, sorry about that. Just trying to get some people back in. Like I said, I can only apologise. Codemasters have really put us in a difficult position here with the issues we've got. We've got Yozu has now left the session as well. Fairley's left. I believe this is probably going to get cancelled. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, so it appears in the chat. I think the race is probably going to get cancelled. Not too sure. Obviously, not the result we wanted. We were really, really excited for this race. I was really pumped to finally get to commentate on Tier 4. But, yeah, Codemasters once again let us down. Don't really want to say too much about it because, like we said, we've seen it before. These kinds of issues creeping into the game. It's obviously frustrating for these guys who've put a lot of effort in tonight. To get ready for a race like this. Obviously, all the stuff that we do in terms of the broadcast team, in getting everything ready, doing the research, getting the stats and everything together. So for this kind of thing to happen, yeah, it's very frustrating. But obviously, there's not really much that we can do about it. But I believe what's been said in the chat is the race is temporarily cancelled. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I think they're just trying to get in contact with Luke to see what's going on. So we'll commentate over this battle between Matty and Rossi because these two are still in the session. So even if the race isn't going on, we can have a little bit of a battle to keep us entertained while trying to work out what's going on. I'm not sure if the race is just going to be cancelled. Probably will. Thinking about it till the break week later on in the season. And again, yeah, I can only apologise, ladies and gentlemen. This game is just something else at this point. We have had a suggestion in the Discord to wait until the next game before trying to rerun this race. Very tongue-in-cheek, but yeah, F1 2022, I really do hope something gets done about the online connectivity because this is such a big market these days for Formula 1. Obviously, with F1 esports, the rise in league racing, like so many eyes on league racing. Like for me personally, I never thought that I'd be able to do commentary on a league race to this many people. So the fact that this is still going on. Sorry, I've completely lost my train of thought there. What was I saying? Yeah, so league racing, it's getting a bigger audience. Obviously, with lockdown and all the stuff that happened during that, it's put league racing on the map. It's put esports on the map for Formula 1. And I really hope that we can get a game that really does it justice because these kind of things, they're so good to be part of. They're so much fun. Racing against other people, just incredible lag spike there. It looks like everybody is leaving though, so I think, ladies and gentlemen, is the lobby back? I don't know what's going on. Apparently everyone's rejoining. I'm really not sure what's going on here. It does appear people are rejoining, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I've not really got much information that I can give to you at the moment because no one's really giving information to me. Apparently everyone's rejoining, but I'm not sure if they actually are or not. Doesn't look like they have. Let's see, can we find some people who are actually still in the session? If there is anyone still in the session to spectate. Just while I try and get to the Discord and find out what on earth is going on. So apparently we've somehow managed to get a safety car, despite the fact that I don't think anyone is still in the session. Oh no, a couple of people apparently are. So apparently we still have Osku. Oh no, it's changing every couple of seconds. I've no idea what's going on. Okay, so the stream, unfortunately, is going to have to end here. We have had to cancel the race. Yeah, I can only apologise for this, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, much like yourselves, I was very, very looking forward to this one. We were set for a really interesting race. Fairly pitting under the VSC. Obviously, Osku desperately needing the win for the championship. There's so many storylines. I was really, really looking forward to this. But unfortunately, the game has let us down once again. So, apologies for that. Hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, the other tiers of WOR aren't suffering issues. There should be another stream up on the channel right now. I believe that is for tier 8. So please do go over there, show them guys some love. Hopefully they're not suffering from the same issues we are. I believe tier 6 is also streaming as well. So unfortunately we're going to have to end this stream. But please do go show some love to the other guys in WOR. As always, leave a subscribe on the channel. The guys here do a really good job. They're going to try their best to get this sorted and try and get some better races. When we can, hopefully this can get sorted, and we can have a good stream, get some races going, and we can have a really good time. Yeah, there's not really much more I can say, to be honest. I apologise, obviously, on behalf of WOR and for everyone involved in this, that this is how this is had to end. But yeah, there's not really much more I can say. Thank you for sticking with us for as long as you have. Obviously, we've had so many technical issues this stream. Hopefully, we should be back next Tuesday. I am supposed to be streaming as well on WR on Thursday for tier number 9. But depending on how these issues go, I don't know if that's going to be happening or not. Excuse me. Keep your eyes on Twitter on the WOR Twitter account. I believe it's linked in the description below. Check that out. It'll be up to date with what's going on with each race. And hopefully we can let you guys know as soon as possible. Thank you so much for those of you who have tuned in. My name is XSmithyX. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and hopefully we can have a better race next time. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.